The NBA schedule was released yesterday, and when you combine that with the NFL, it's times like right now where we're starting to get out of the dog days. Baseball's picking up towards the pennant race. We had the NBA schedule, and soon we'll have NBA training camp open in about a month. NFL preseason is already started. You're starting to see the light. And then you have Christmas. And I don't know if there's a such thing as too much. Personally, I'd like to see it stretched out so that we can have more things in June and July, but that's not realistic. Normally on Christmas, it belongs to the NBA. The NBA, Thanksgiving is the NFL's historically, and Christmas belongs to the NBA. Not this year. Here's your NBA and here's your sports calendar, Jason, for Christmas. You wake up, kids wake you up at God knows what hour. You're drinking your hot chocolate, getting ready to open presents, or maybe you already have by 9 a.m. Sixers Knicks come on in New York, Madison Square Garden, 9 a.m. Okay, great. Cool. An hour later, Packers at Miami, which, by the way, could be a good game this year. 2.5 hours later at 12:30, when you're about ready to take a nap, Lakers at Mavs. An hour later, the Broncos at the defending world champion Los Angeles Rams. Russell Wilson versus Matt Stafford, we hope. Half hour later, the Bucks and Celtics. Oh, my goodness. So far, probably the best matchup we have of any of the sports. Then you'll get the bulk of that, and as Broncos-Rams, you would think, is finishing up, Bucks and Celtics finishing up, you get what most will probably say is the marquee game, depending on how they do, but going back to last year, Grizzlies in San Francisco versus the Warriors. And Ja Morant talking all that garbage, Draymond Green, and them having kind of a fun back and forth. Looking forward to that. Because about the time the first quarter is ending, hey, here's Tom Brady and Kyler Murray going at it. Bucks and Cardinals. And then at 7:30, a possible playoff matchup again. Suns in Denver taking on the Nuggets. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is 8 games between the NBA and the NFL. And that is 1, 2, 3 football games. That's a lot of sports.
Yeah. The 5 NBA is standard. Sometimes we get an NFL game, but for the NFL to put 3 all throughout the day in their prime windows, 10, 1, and the nighttime 5:20, is going to make it interesting. But I think the NFL will win pretty easily.
Why?
Why
is the NFL doing that? I mean, I get it. They don't need to step aside for the NBA. But I think as a sports fan, I don't want all of that.
I'll say this. You say, why is the NFL doing that? The NFL, I'll make this argument, was nice. Christmas is Sunday.
That's a great point.
That could be littered with games.
It's actually really
I think they're playing Saturday.
Yeah.
They have the Monday night game.
That's actually a really, really good point. It is a Sunday.
So, right? Isn't? Yeah, it is a Sunday.
It is a Sunday.
So it could have been a typical, especially that week. I think it's week 17 or 1 or 2 left there. And you could have the 10 o'clock window just filled with games, 1 o'clock, and then the 5 o'clock game still. So,
well, I think here's where you're 100% correct. They've got a Thursday. Oh, wow. Usually they give you crap games on Thursday. And Amazon, you can tell Amazon signed that big deal. They've got the Thursday night game. I'm not going to say this is an AFC championship matchup because I think that's a little too soon. But, Jason, I can tell you right now I'm getting excited for this. Jacksonville at the Jets.
Oh, big time. That's what Amazon paid for.
Oh, yeah. Lawrence versus, what's his name?
Wilson.
Yeah. Lawrence Wilson. Probably the new Brady Manning.
Yes.
Yes.
Many are saying that.
Watch, you know what? That's actually still on the table. But to your point, Saturday, December 24th. So this is kind of cool. Your Christmas Eve slate.
Yes.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've got 11.
Yeah.
11 games. And what I love is you got the Niners at 105, and then you have Vegas, Pittsburgh as the Sunday night game. So you get kind of both pseudo local teams there. Then you're right. Sunday, just 3 games, and Monday. You know what, Jason? You completely turned me around. The NFL, you're right, is being very nice.
Yeah. Because they could have dominated that day and said, sorry, NBA. Yeah. Now they're still competing with them, and they might dominate the NBA, but
they will.
Yeah.
They will. They 100% will. This is not great news. I mean, it happens once every 7 years where Christmas falls on a Sunday, and then Chargers Colts on Monday. I can't expect necessarily the NBA to take a step back in that situation.
Yeah, but what's your typical? I mean, Christmas is done differently in every house.
Yeah.
So some could be completely TV free. Some may have it on all the time. And maybe that's our family tradition. We always watch the basketball game, the biggest one of the day on Christmas.
Right.
Or is it? I feel like maybe more it's kind of on in the background. And if there's a big play, a big moment, oh wait, or if your team's playing, sure you're watching.
This is going to mess with one of our traditions because generally sometime we have a family Christmas Eve dinner and a family Christmas dinner. And one of our traditions is sometime around 3-4 p.m. on Christmas Eve when it starts, we have our main TV is permanently tuned to TNT for A Christmas Story.
Okay. Because that's always on.
It's always on. They're doing the marathon, and we just leave it on. It's one of those movies you've seen enough. You can come in and out and look, and maybe we'll mix in an Elf or whatever, but generally it's like that. I don't know how that's going to be possible because you're going to have so much NBA and so much NFL on both days. You're going to, honestly, I'm probably going to we're going to drag in some other screens or something because a lot of us, we're going to be in the kitchen,
right,
or out, smoking or barbecuing or whatever it is. It's going to mess with some things, Jason.
Well, and here's the other thing about not only why, the NFL, just the one game a week, it just lends itself to great viewing. But here's the other part about that. I think it's week 17, so second last week of the season, or 16, I can't remember which.
Yeah.
Fantasy. Like if you have got, you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, and they're playing on Christmas Day, you're trying to figure out if you're winning your week and advancing in the playoffs and those kind of things when they're playing the Dolphins, or you've got Kyler Murray or whatever key player that you've got fantasy wise. Yeah, I think there will be a lot of people paying attention to that.
We're going to get into the Kings schedule next. Specifically, there were some tidbits. We'll give you the important stuff you care about, but I will say this: it's just kind of you forget about this stuff sometimes, and I know you don't have to travel, which is a good thing in this case because I was talking to Katie yesterday, and Katie has a little one, a 3-year-old little girl, cute as a button, and she looked at the schedule, and we were on the phone. I was on the phone with her. She and Mark Jones did a thing yesterday about the schedule, and it didn't even click with her. And then they're traveling for Halloween, and they're in Boston for Thanksgiving. That's just, that stinks.
Yeah.
Especially at that age too. I felt for her too. I mean, you're dressing your kids up. You're doing your thing. And I mean, listen, no one's crying for anyone. I understand that, but it's just one of those little things you look at and go, she said, I can't remember the last time they were on the road for both Halloween and Thanksgiving. They are home for Christmas. Thank goodness. That's